But yeah, dude, definitely, definitely, like I said, there's definitely going to be much more boots on the ground. I mean, Taiwan's holding an election today, right? I mean
Yeah,
that's not
yeah,
on the list, but yeah,
and of course, China's rattling the fuck out of the saber for that one,
right,
man.
right. Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. I'm not too sure who the candidates are. Again, like I say, I didn't research any of that for this episode, but yeah, that's definitely going to be some news in this coming week. That's for sure.
I know one is like the candidate that China's against. He's like pro Taipei, of course, and he's what is they're considered like their liberal party, but is akin more to our GOP. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? If that tells you anything, of course, it's spineless cucks on this bitch, right? But and that's why they're against it. You know what I mean? They're more of conservative traditionalist. Taipei's the original government fucking type of candidate, and whereas the other one's pro China. We got to keep these negotiations open. We got to keep relations good. Basically like sucking the Gigi's teeth, dude. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And the other candidates like fuck unification, man. We're independent, and if someone is going to be running both countries, it's going to be the actual government, which now resides in Taipei. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's
So
it's
basically, one's running more on a platform of like kind of Chinese appeasement, and the other one's just basically running on it. They're gonna invade us anyway, motherfucker. Fuck you
yeah.
guys.
The other one's like make Taipei great again, man.
Right. Yep. Like I said, there's a nationalist resurgence all over the world, man. The only thing that I worry about is whether or not it's orchestrated. Is whether or not it's intended. Because it's not like it would have been too difficult for somebody to fucking calculate. Like, well, if we actually fucking starve out the people, there a lot of the people are going to eventually rise up against us, and they're going to have a huge nationalist movement. I hope that that's not something that's actually intended. Like well, we're going to get huge nationalist movements in all these places. Well, revolutions are going to happen, civil wars are going to happen all over the place, and well, guess what? A huge fucking percentage of these nationalists, their a huge amount of their numbers are going to be wiped out, and therefore everyone's
Right.
going to just be much more docile. People, we're basically going to get all the people that still have some octane in their bloods, and we're going to let them just fight it out to the death, and we're going to come and reign over the ashes. That's my big worry.
Yeah, and if they didn't plan it like that, they sure haven't paid attention to history, because that's always what happens. The
Right.
left gets fucking too much power, becomes fucking authoritarian, and then the fucking right comes through fucking, smashing boots into skulls, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's,
Yep.
you push too far either way, you're going to get the extreme result of the opposite. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I agree with you. It was definitely either planned or they didn't pay attention to fucking the theory of things. you
Right.
know.
Right. Either that, or another thing that I worry about is yeah, I haven't really written too much in it yet, but that book idea that I have, basically the world that I've created in my mind and shit. That's basically how things are controlled. They basically let every fucking nation break down into an ultra nationalist type thing, and then they basically have a united world coalition to where basically each nation send forth a representative to represent them among the global coalition, and basically the global coalition controls all trade. They're basically in control of all trade, 100% trade, except on the national level. Basically, nations could have their own, individual currency, their own systems, and all that type of stuff. But when it comes to trade amongst other nations, or trading, say if you need some supplies, that's not local to your region, that needs to be approved, and fucking it's a whole bureaucratic thing, and basically that's going to be the way that they control everything. That's the way that they
Yeah.
unite. That's the way that they completely take global control, is by basically dividing everybody so much to the point where like you hate your neighbor, and you're afraid that if you ask them for fucking a cup of soup or something, that they're going to start a fucking all-out war. Basically, that's the whole thing. Is, oh, war is imminent if you fucking interact with your neighbors and that type of stuff. Basically it's you know
Instead, in reality, they've rolled it out like divide and fucking, occupy, basically. You know what I mean? As far as like distractions, you know what I mean? Video games, football, you know what I'm saying? Shit
Right.
like that. And, the ease of fucking, life basically here while they do their thing. You know what I mean? Where you don't know your neighbor. You don't have to be inferior neighbor if you don't know the
Oh, no,
motherfucker exists.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't mean like your actual neighbor. I mean like your neighboring country.
Right.
Like
Right.
your yeah. But yeah,
But
like
I'm saying, like, you're closed minded. You know what I mean? Like, people are
right.
we are divided, but we're also distracted, and to the point to where like I said, people don't know anything outside of their own bubble, man. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I mean, for the most part, obviously, there's people that like to try to stay educated and read both sides, get their blind spot, shit like that. But for the most part, that's across the board, especially in the West, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Fucking yeah. Again, it's all just time will tell in all of it.
Mhm.
And it's just keeping your head on a swivel. It's really it's kind of like being on a fucking on a ship that's just floating through a fucking massive storm. You can try and fucking keep her controlled as much as you want. You can try and even pretend and tell yourself like, oh, don't worry, we're anchored, we're fine, we're not going nowhere. But in reality, there's no possible way to fucking control that. And I think that's basically what the actual goal is to destabilize everything. And basically they're the people that have the most resources, they're the people that have the most knowledge, they're the people that historically have the right to reign over these people, because they have a legitimization through what they call stakeholder capitalism, right? Because they hold stake in all these different fucking industries throughout the world. And I think that's basically they're just going to let everything completely destabilize. And of course, when nations and worlds are destabilized, nobody is ever actually in control. Even the people that you might think are in control, even you might think, oh, government's in control of all this. They're nobody's ever actually truly in control. It's really a fucking who like I say, it's a crazy ass fucking
You can plan a picnic, but you can't predict the weather.
exactly. And so I think that's basically what their plan is, just fucking destabilize it, and just they understand, how things work in
Yeah,
destabilized nations. They know all about destabilized nations. They do it all the fucking time.
yeah. I mean, and America's been a part of it, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So
Hence,
that's why I think the Biden administration is openly is I don't think they're actually even hiding anymore. I think they're openly fucking trying to destroy the nation, because again they're trying to do that same plan. They basically have the legitimization of the people and stuff like that. They have their people that blindly follow them, and I think they're just going to completely try to destabilize and then just rebuild.
yeah,
And
and it's completely planned, dude. I mean, like I said before, previous times, several times, you could download the fucking goddamn, the UN charter, and it explains this shit, replacement migration, that it's not a fucking theory, that it's put in practice. It breaks it down to how much each country in the West needs to let in to fucking reach these certain goals. And it actually was stating that the US already lets in more than what they would need, what we would need for replacement migration. And then also, of course, you can watch the WEF fucking meetings there in Davos, right? That's all across the fucking interzones. And they tell you the plan in detail as well. It's just that, if you point it out as a regular person, then the media comes out and, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're a fucking nut job, or borderline terrorist, or what have you. When in reality, you're just pointing out, man.
right, it's like I say, they're afraid of the truth, man. They're such demonic creatures hiding within the shadows that
But like I said, though, it's crazy. They put the truth out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the UN Charter, for instance, is free for everyone to go download, but yet they know most people won't. So the few that do, they're crazies.
right.
They're gonna get you insurrectionists, dude, white supremacies. You
Well,
know what I mean?
it all depends on what kind of insurrectionist white supremacies you are, man. Because as we know, not all insurrectionists are created equal, especially within the eyes of the law, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, we just seen that just the other day in Colorado, man. You had pro-Palestine come in and interrupt official proceedings in the fucking goddamn state senate there, and completely take over the joint, flood it, chanting, and inside of the chambers with the representatives. So I
Right.
mean, they got further into their insurrection than anyone in J6 even fucking could have thought of. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I mean, you know, the only difference is they're not claiming a cop that killed himself fucking days later got killed there. You know what I mean? That's, you know.
Fucking, what I was actually talking about though was fucking old Ray Epps.
Oh yeah,
Right. The lead fucking
do it
insurrectionist.
into the Capitol.
Actually, you know, we're all wrong. We're all wrong. He's not an insurrectionist. He's an innocent man, and he's actually one of us. And we should be happy that they're letting one of us go. Right? We should
Right.
be happy for him, right? I mean, like, yeah, one of our guys won a court case. They do that Jamie Raskin would actually have you believe that. Would actually
Yeah.
have you believe that that's the case, man, dude. This guy is a, you know, as the people were chanting at, you know, on the 5th of January, this guy is a fucking fed, like, to the fullest, man. Like, I think he's just the dumbest fed
You
there.
better say allegedly. He's out here trying to sue people.
Right. I mean, still, either way, what's he gonna sue me for? It's not like I fucking made any sort of money off him, but either way, fucking uh uh
You'll be removed off the Jesus tubes.
wouldn't be the first time, man. But yeah, fucking, anyway, man, this guy's a fucking fed. This guy works for
Yeah.
the fucking federal government. He's a fucking FBI asset. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing. I don't actually know that.
You're not playing. He is. Fuck
Right,
him.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And what kind of tough guy Marine fucking runs around like, if you say my names, I'm suing you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? The guy that's out there, like I, you know, just repeated, into the Capitol, trying to act like he's some big nut setting off a revolution. But then you say his name and I'm taking you to courts. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You fucking big bitch, you. You know, dude, it's pretty obvious that, you know, like you said, fucking Plant, not only is he on film on 2 days in a row spouting this shit in the crowd saying he's a fed, but then they got his text messages where he's telling his nephew, I orchestrated this. Then you got the left running out like, oh, you don't just send lies to your nephews and nieces. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. No, I don't.
Right.
You know, and like you
You don't
said,
try to
dude,
brag to your fucking nieces and nephews. Psst, what's wrong with
yeah.
you?
Yeah, and then like you said, you got these fucking rhinos like Kinzinger on CNN saying it's a GOP celebrations, dude,
Right.
because one of us got away with it. You know what I'm saying? Fucking morons, man.
Yeah, they think we're that fucking stupid, man. Like, they really actually think that, man. Right.
Yeah, I
So
see him as part of the Patriot Front, dude.
so in the, you know, in the whole, you know, scope of things, man, like, you got people like Enrique Tario. Shit, I can't remember the rest of the fucking, you know, Proud Boys dude name. That's the only name that I can remember right now. But, you know, all these people basically getting anywhere from, you know, 10 to fucking 20 some odd years in prison. Yeah, it wasn't
And
Enrique
Tario
Tario.
wasn't
Yeah,
even there. Wasn't
wasn't
even
even in
there.
DC. Wasn't even in DC at the time, right? And you know, oh, he was having communications with people through text messages, right? Go fuck yourself,
Not to
man.
mention his name's Enrique Tario, and he's a white supremacy.
Right, right, right. But yeah, fucking. So actually, I want to retouch on that part, right? But yeah, so Enrique Tario fucking gets what, 22 fucking years, right? For being a brown white supreme or black white supremacy, right? And that's so real quick. Let me just go ahead and make my point on that one. So, fucking, the whole thing with white supremacy when it comes to the left is you don't have to actually be white to be a white supremacist, right? Because being white is a state of mind. Right, it's a cultural thing. It's the type of stuff you do, right? That's why they have articles basically saying, you know, fucking waking up on time, fucking waking up early, going to work every day, fucking, you know, paying your bills on
Peanut
time,
butter
fucking,
and jelly sandwiches,
right,
fucking
fucking, having,
mayonnaise.
right, going to church, you know, all that type of shit. That's all white people stuff, right? And, you know, it doesn't matter fucking what actual skin color you are. If you do that type of stuff, you're a white person. But then you also got them freaking out on fucking, like, take for example, fucking that try that in a small town, right? So basically, he's talking about crimes. he's talking about like, oh, like fucking you're gonna rob an old lady for a purse, like you think you're cool and shit like that, like try that in a small town, whatever. He's basically talking about people that think it's cool to go out and fucking commit crimes on basically the innocent public and shit, right? And they immediately, oh, that's racism, right? That's racism. You're talking about black people. You're talking about black people. Clearly, you must be talking about black people, right? Because in their mind, blackness is a state of mind. It's
And
not,
it equates to
and
crime.
right, and it equates to fucking doing crime, and it equates to fucking like abandoning your kids, and it equates to fucking basically all the fucking
It
negative
equates
shit in
to
society.
illiteracy, the inability to obtain ID,
Right,
the fucking
right.
the
In their
racism of lowered
in their fucking
expectations.
in their fucking white guilt fucking mind, that is what black culture is. Like, if you do any of that stuff, then it doesn't matter if you're fucking milk fucking white. If you go fucking sag your pants and fucking talk any bonnets and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And you go in and you fucking wave guns around and fucking with your pants down to your ankles and you go rob stores and shit. Well, you're black. You're not a white guy, right? Like that's like I said, it's there.
And you don't grasp, they're segregating you. They're moving you back to the fucking 50s and telling you like, well, you need your own black graduation to celebrate blackness. In
Right.
reality, they're segregating you from everyone else, man. You know what I'm saying? They are the fucking racists. They traded in their fucking KKK hoods for fucking Antifa masks. You know what I'm saying? Real
Yep.
shit.
Yep. Yep. You notice in fucking the one side that doesn't ever wear masks when they go out. The only reason that they're actually able to name people like Enrique Tarrio is because of the fact that we ain't out there trying to be in masks, fucking like like the Klansman was back in the day, right? That's
Right.
basically
Instead
their
of that hat scares people.
right. Your lack of a fucking face scares people, motherfucker.
Right.
Like your lack of a fucking face and sociopathic tendencies fucking scare people. Like right. But so anyway, man, you got these brown white supremacists getting fucking 20 some odd years. How much do you think an actual white insurrectionist would get? Someone like Ray Epps, man, he's probably doing fucking life, right? That's what you would assume. I mean, considering especially, like I said, Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in DC at the time. And you also got fucking I forget who the fuck it was. One of the fucking Biden administration basically saying, "Oh, we're actually going to expand the dragnet. Now it's not just people that went in the building. Now, if you were on the grounds at all on January 6th, then you're going to be charged with being on restricted grounds."
Whether you knew it or not.
Right, right. So we're expanding the dragnet, right? So someone like Ray Epps, man, fucking, we got to go into the Capitol, into the Capitol. That's where our problems are at, in the Capitol, right? Someone like that, he's got to be doing life, right? 1 year of probation and a $500 fine.
Let that sink in, motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah. But no, he's definitely not a government asset, right? Definitely
Yeah.
not a government asset, right? They're so blatant with it, these days. You like fucking. I mean, it's insulting, and I think that's what the goal is, man. We touched on it last time, and I think that's what the goal is going to be for the rest of this fucking year, man. They're going to keep doing this outrageous type shit. We can't even imagine what they're going to be fucking up to next. They're going to be like they're already trying to fucking recruit illegal immigrants that came to this country illegally into our military. They're trying to get illegal immigrants who came to this country illegally to be police officers. Like, are you fucking kidding me? They're going to do it too. Like like I said, they don't give two shits about the repercussions. In their mind, it's all or nothing right now. It's fucking end game is fucking, if Trump wins, then everything is the world is over. And so in their mind, they're saving the world right now.
And they really are trying to turn it into their fucking multicultural fucking utopia democracy. And when you have Joe Biden out here saying our democracy, he's saying our because he's talking about him and the fucking lunatic leftists. You're excluded. We live in a republic. They in their minds, they live in a democracy and you're not a part of it. You know what I mean? And like down here where we live in Arizona, there's fucking the Spanish Chamber of Commerce. There's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the fucking freeway signs change to kilometers and shit. Like, you'd think you're already living in fucking Mexico here, man. And they're this is in fast forward. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this guy has let in more than the last 3 presidents combined
Yeah.
in one
Yep.
term.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fucking historic numbers, man. Fucking,
Yeah.
like I said, I think it's all just it's intentional, and I think the goal for this year is to try and get the conservatives to do something. They're
Yeah.
trying to do
And
another
this,
January
that's,
6th. Come on, do another January 6th, guys. Like, oh,
yeah.
we're gonna lock up Trump. No, we're actually doing it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll sign an executive order that says lock him up. Like that. That's
Yeah.
how much.
And
That's how wacky they're gonna get.
even the Ray Epps shit, that's trying to goad you. That's that, you know what I mean? That's doing something to where you have these leftist mouthpieces that are going, no, see, he's not fucking FBI. They did something to him. But then you have people with fucking minds that think for themselves. Like they just, like you just said, they gave somebody 20 fucking 2 years that wasn't even there, but they gave this guy probation that was flat out for real orchestrating it,
Right.
regardless of those texts. It's on fucking video. You know what
On
I mean?
literally on the front lines as the barricades went down. Like
Yeah.
literally at the front of the fucking crowd. Whispers into somebody's ear, and then the barricades come, crashing down immediately after. Like
Yeah, and now him and his
probation.
attorneys are here trying to convince you that he wasn't saying, basically you go through the barriers or whatnot. That he was telling them, "Don't go in."
Right.
After a video of him screaming at everybody to go in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep. Yeah. That's where we're at in this world, man. In this part of history, man. Like that's what we're fucking living through right now. Like, dude, people thought 2023 was. It's funny because I see all kinds of fucking people right now. Like, oh, at least 2023 is over, right? 2024 is gonna be great. Like, I,
We're not
like,
even 2 weeks in. It's already fucking complete mayhem, dude. You know what I mean?
right.